Hello, it's the end of April 3rd, 2025. Mm, the word problem in French is problème, and it has another E in the end. I was using this Fast Lingo French app, and I've just started with the basics, even though I guess I knew some stuff before. But yeah, it has like 9,109 sentences, and I think it's one of the best um, language learning apps that I've seen, even though I've tried so many. But there's just something about it that um, just grabs my attention, and it rewards you instantly, because and you're actually learning stuff, and through the next sentences you also learn, and all the concepts just um, repeat, and you can just internalize the language. When I saw the number of sentences, I was really interested in seeing how many sentences does a book have. I know it depends on the size. The small size apparently has 5,000, and an average size it's about 7,500 or 10,000 sentences. So yeah. Next was I found the difference between lymphedema and lymphedema. Lymphedema, as you can see in the page, the first one, it's about abnormal fat buildup around your lower body, so around your legs and stuff. And it usually happens in female, or it has high risk in females, and a large BMI, like more than 35%, 35. And lymphedema, on the other hand, even though they have the same names, lymphedema means like swelling because of lymphatic system's dysfunction, and it just collects more fluid. And people struggling with it, they have much more of a sensitive skin, and it's just both are apparently extremely painful, and the common ground between them is obesity. Next, again from my new favorite book, The Joy of X, chapter 3. It was about negatives and negative numbers and subtraction, and then it talked about how in real life we can see the implications of um, minus minus multiplied by minus equals positive. Negative by negative is a positive. And in real life, it's the enemy of my enemy is my friend. I've never thought of it that way, and I was really interested and amazed. Again, there's apparently this triangles also. They don't just exist in Turkish series; they're also in sociology, and one of them being that how like this triangle, a balanced triangle shows a balance in like between people and like the relationships and stuff. For example, if there's like a dysfunction or a conflict between Max and Sam, Harry needs to take a side, and like that perfect triangle is broken. And yeah, it was extremely interesting because I've never thought of it that way. Even though we see it in real life, I didn't know that it was a thing. For example, also a really interesting thing about history, that in World War II, they've actually like analyzed the connections and these semi-triangles between countries and nations, between like in World War II, and they realized that the ones that like had those perfect triangles were the ones that ended up kind of um, winning the war, even though war doesn't usually have a winner. I think it's just destruction. Next is nostalgia will make you remember the warmth and forget the burn. So yeah, I can be like that sometimes, but there's this page on Instagram called "We Never Get Younger." I think his name is Henry, and he he said it in one of his videos. I was just like, I gotta write this down because yeah, nostalgia does that to us. Don't get back with your exes. Next is I didn't know what vortex was. Apparently, it's the peak. It means the peak, so the highest or the lowest point in a parabola. And these are just some ways to solve it. I didn't know this second formula, like minus b on 2a and stuff. And yeah, I was pretty interested in it. But I found this a in parentheses x minus h plus k to be much more easier to work with. So you basically have to transform your original function to this format, and h would be your x and k would be your y value, which I don't know, I just liked it better. Second was a new graphing technique that I didn't know about, and that's sort of 1A, 3A, 5A, 7A. So it was talking about that, I think so, maybe I'm wrong, so I hope I'm not, but it was talking about in order to, once you found your vertex, once you found your vertex, you say you multiply that A by first by 1, then by 3, then by 5, and then 7. So when you have the vertex, it means that it acts like this divider, this place that you can just mirror. For example, if you have -1 on one side, then you know that you have 1 on the other side. When we have when the vertex is, for example, in -1. But yeah, then you go 3 up, then 5 up, then 7 up. And another way to do it is also find the x and y intercepts, which means just solving the function for x equals 0 and y equals 0, which can be a tedious task depending on the specific parabola, but it might be demanded in the test or something. But yeah, I've never seen that graphing pattern. I was just interested in it, so I thought I would bring it here. For the first time in years, I had the courage to try calculus again because I'm frightened of it, and frankly, I just didn't think I would even be able to get one question right. But this book was recommended by Math Sorcerer. He talked about it in some of his videos, and I'm personally amazed of how accurate his explanation was, because it's literally from the get-go you're able to solve problems and just get that understanding in comparison to so many other books that you just have to get through so many things and become so confused that you can't understand anything in the end. And yeah, apparently I have some issues with solving the problems that have root and the root function, but apart from that, I was able to get a good chunk of questions right, and yeah, it really made me happy today. So amazing book if you're struggling with calculus. I really recommend it. Next, I'm also interested in proofwriting, since studying calculus also requires proofwriting. So, and I remember this book called Introduction to Mathematical Thinking by Keith Devlin, and he's a really great guy. I've had one of his Coursera courses called the Mathematical Thinking, and in his book, the first thing that came to that I just saw, because I haven't read this book in a long time and I haven't finished it, that he was saying education is a preparation for life, and only part of that is the mastery of specific work skills. And I was really amazed by that because I've never thought of it that way. And sometimes I would just be like, why would I need to learn this? It's not going to be handy in a job anyways. But apparently it is. It can be for another job or another thing, and life in general. For example, this proofwriting itself. So apparently there are two types of mathematical thinking and mathematical operation. One's able to operate mathematical stuff quickly maybe, and the other is about being able to be innovative. Apparently after the 1950s, according to the demands, college mathematics students were expected to master conceptual mathematical thinking as well. So I didn't know this as well, and I saw this proof in the book that I was really amazed by it. It's a way to prove how there are infinite amount of prime numbers. So we're assuming that P1 to Pn being the last prime number plus 1. So all these prime numbers, which we're assuming that they're finite, this is the sum of them, and n is the sum of all prime numbers plus 1. So n is obviously bigger than all of those numbers, and if n is a prime, then there's a bigger prime than Pn, and it just contradicts itself, and it's going to be infinite. And if n is not a prime, then it should be divisible by a prime, but it's not, because we've added 1 and it's a remainder. There'd be a remainder of 1, so the prime numbers are infinite. Yeah, I was really pleased by this, and yeah, goodbye, have a great time.